Good morning everyone, my name is Michael Anker. I'm the project lead for the Norfolk Deer Strategy, for Norfolk FWAG, Norfolk Deer Strategy. I'm a 5th generation retired farmer from Cambridgeshire, former FWAG award winner for Best Farm in Cambridgeshire, and having managed deer in Norfolk for around 45 years now. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is the Norfolk Deer Strategy, what it's about, what it's doing, what it's done, and where we see us going. So, why do we have a deer problem in Norfolk? I mean, anybody driving here today would have seen, no doubt, deer on the side of the road dead. And if you're a farmer or an environmentalist or from the Broads Authority or anywhere else, you'll know that there's a growing number of deer in the Norfolk landscape. We've changed the dynamic. We've made this happen. We've removed the natural control measures, what used to be there. Wolves, lynx, etc. We've introduced invasive species, muntjac, Chinese water deer, to a landscape where there are no predators and where they've adapted very, very quickly. They're very adaptive animals. We've created landscape mosaics, best habitat. We've got mixed woodlands, wetlands, farmlands. We've created cover, shelter and food. We have created a perfect habitat for deer. We're building nature, we're building habitat, and we're enticing deer to come into that habitat. The farmland now has got cover crops, it's got shelter belts, it's got wildflower meadows, it's got miscanthus, which is perfect shelter, it's got maize, it's got feed throughout the winter. These crops we're growing are perfect for deer to find, to live, to eat. It's like, if you're happy, you've got a bedroom, you've got a kitchen, what else do you need? You get up and eat, you sit down and sleep, you have a mooch about with your friends, you're happy. And that's the landscape, that is what we're creating. We're creating it around the country. We're doing a great thing for nature. Deer are part of nature, but we have now created such a thing that they are very, very successful. And they are starting to destroy what we're creating. Whether we're putting hedgerows in, whether we're putting new trees in, whether we're putting cover crops in, deer eat things, that's what they do. And they brash them, they rub them with their antlers, they chew them, and you'll see some pictures as we go through the potential deer damage that we get around woodlands and farmland. So our conservation efforts are creating that habitat for nature and for deer. That's what we're doing, that's why we're getting so many now. We're planting more trees. We're changing management practices that suit deer. We're growing high protein crops. We're growing agroforestry. We're growing things like lucerne, peas, beans, all these crops, high protein. We're trying to get away, we're trying to shorten food miles from around the world, but we're growing crops here that make deer lives a lot easier. And their body weight and everything's improving. Their fecundity, their breeding ability is growing because of these high protein crops. The climate's changing. We've got warmer winters. We've got better breeding potential for these animals. Chinese water deer, they can carry 6 or 7 young. They've got 4 teats like sheep like cows and sheep, but they will have potential to bring off 4 young. So 4 young each year, expanding, especially in habitats like the Broads where there's no deer management in certain areas. Muntjac, no breeding season, they just breed 7 months, 7 months, 7 months. So they've got potential to just keep breeding and breeding and breeding. Usually bring off 1, often 2. So we've also moved away from the traditional thinking of a general acceptance of hunting for food. If you look at America, you look at Canada, you look at Japan, you look at Europe, they've still got that traditional hunting, sustenance, and it's passed down generation to generation. We've lost that in the UK. We've lost the ability for the urban disconnection from the rural and seeing venison as a sustainable food. And eating venison, it's a fantastic food source and very, very healthy. But if we're eating venison, if we're getting more venison in the food chain, we're helping the deer managers get more deer culled. And I think it's such a waste if we're sort of seeing these animals killed on the roads when we could be managing much better. And the amount of fencing that's going on roads now, it's costing an absolute fortune. Putting fencing up, £25 a metre, if not more. That's just the fencing cost. It's not the actual carbon footprint of actually mining this stuff and galvanising it and transporting it and maintaining it. It's a massive, massive thing. And we're all paying for this. It comes out from taxpayer money. We're paying for that fencing. And fencing doesn't solve a problem. Fencing just moves a problem. It doesn't solve it. If you fence a small area of woodland in, yes, it'll save those trees, but it's pushing the deer everywhere else. So, the objectives of the Norfolk Deer Strategy. We're building strategic partnerships, and as Kate and as Andrea said, very, very important to build those partnerships. And we're not just building them for landowners, we're building top up, bottom down, and from the sides as well. We're bringing everybody together in this. We're raising awareness and acceptance. We're raising the awareness that, we've got a lot of deer. There's a figure banded about 2 million deer. That's been out there since 1994 or around 2000. So there's possibly more than 2 million deer. There's possibly less. But anybody, anecdotally, deer manager, farmer, anybody traveling along the road will say there's a lot more deer than there used to be. Insurance companies will tell you there's a lot more deer accidents than there used to be. So we know anecdotally there are more deer. And we've got to raise that awareness that there are more. We've got to get more acceptance of the fact we need to manage them. We are identifying opportunities and barriers. There are barriers within certain groups that are very territorial. That's a massive barrier. That collaboration across landscapes, across landowners, across bodies and NGOs, we're breaking that down as we go along. We're building evidence bases. Andrew's got a perfect evidence base from the Broads with the drone surveys, but to get deer managers and landowners to say we've got this amount of deer is very, very hard to quantify. What we're doing, we're building an evidence base of deer that are being culled or managed. We can do that, and it'll be fairly easy once we get all the deer managers online and the landowners online doing that. But to build an evidence base of what we've got now is very, very hard. We can start collecting information now. By the time we get it finished in 2 or 5 years' time, deer numbers will be vastly more. We're training, we're going back one. We know we need to train and retain new deer managers. Most deer managers you'll see, if you want to call them deer stalkers, although we're getting away from the name stalker. Deer managers are retired, they're recreational. A lot of them are, vocational stalkers, but they are doing a great thing. They're taking probably 90% of the load for managing deer in the UK and not being really incentivised for it. So we're looking at ways to incentivise deer managers to do more. And we're looking to get new people into this sector, if you want to call it a sector. I nearly use the word sport. It's not a sport. Some people see it wrongly as a sport. It's a necessary management that we need to do. But it's traditional, and it's really and truly hunting is among us. Everybody here is a hunter. Whatever you say, you are a hunter. If you go to the supermarket, you're hunting. If you go up the high street on a Saturday, you might be hunting for a handbag. We're all hunters, so we've got to look at that as well. So we've never lost that traditional thing of being a hunter. So we need to get new people into this, young people, new people, so that we can train them. The old guys out there, the old people, I say guys, when I say guys, I mean it, girls and boys, out on the farms, they've got skills they need to pass on. And also those young people can help them do this. They can help them spot, they can help them carry, they can help them do all the other stuff. So we need to train new people to do this. Colleges need to be more on board with it. I think there was a situation a little while ago where it was shied away from, country sports shied away from, country pursuits shied away from. But this is something that needs to be looked at. We need to be aware of it. Bringing more venison into the food chain, very, very important. And David at Norfolk Wild Venison will be sharing some delightful venison with you, all wild from Norfolk. We're getting venison now into schools, into colleges, trying to get into hospitals. We need to get more people eating venison. It is a fantastic food source. It's natural, it's sustainable, and everybody eating venison is doing nature a service because they're helping to take that out of the landscape where it's destroying various things in the landscape. Andrew's slide would have showed you a Chinese water deer. They're eating the milk parsley that the swallowtail butterflies lay their eggs on. If the milk parsley disappears, so do the swallowtail butterflies. But Chinese water deer numbers are growing, and obviously we need to change that. Landscape scale collaboration is what Kate talks about, is what David talks about, is what everybody talks about. sharing knowledge, sharing facilities, sharing risks, if you want to put it like that. Sharing everything is greatly beneficial to everything we are doing. Lessening deer vehicle collisions. Give you facts from NFU Mutual. April 23 to June this year, NFU insurance alone paid out £5.53 million in deer vehicle collisions. That's just the NFU alone. So think of all the insurance companies around the country paying what they're paying out for deer vehicle collisions. That is all has an impact on all of us. All our insurance premiums are loaded because of that. So we're all paying more because of deer vehicle collisions. I'm not keeping time, Andrea, so I'm just going to keep going. Okay. So the Norfolk Deer Strategy, what will this achieve? Has it stopped? No, we're there. It's just a bit slow. We're looking to lower the impacts of wild deer in Norfolk on agriculture, on forestry, on nature recovery, and on society, as I just said to you there, about all the aspects of deer, how they impact us. Right, this is why action is needed. This graph here will show you deer management over 1,000 hectare parcel of land in northwest Norfolk. If you look at the facts here, if you look at Chinese water deer, invasive species, has got a big problem in the Broads. 2017, 1 animal. 2024, 83. So that's an area the deer are managed on. If you can imagine land where they're not managed, what those figures will be doing. And if you look at the figures here, they're going up and up and up. Muntjac, Chinese water deer, the two invasives, numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They're spreading, they're adapting. They love the countryside, they love the nature we are providing for them, and they're just going to keep going. The native species, red, roe, fairly static, but growing, because we are creating more habitat. More habitat is there, so that's what's going on. This is Frank, this is a high fen, this is a willow car. These trees are being stripped to head height, to 5'8", 5'9" head height by the red deer. They want native deer within that site, 600 hectares, but native deer are destroying the habitat there. So they realise they do have to be culled. They do have to be managed, because if not, nature as a whole will disappear across that landscape. So that's why action is needed. Collaboration with the NDS across Norfolk. What we've done, we looked at this for a start. We said, right, this is what we need to do. We need to get all the deer manager organisations together. So what we've done, we've got National Gamekeepers Organisation, we've got the British Deer Society, we've got the St Hubert Club of Great Britain, we've got Defence Deer Management, and we've got BASC, British Association of Shooting and Conservation. All these people have members that are deer managers. So bringing these together, finding out who's doing what and where, is very, very important. And being able to talk to these people through these organisations is very important as well. We can actually get a message across to all of these people. Who's supporting the Norfolk Deer Strategy so far? When I say so far, there's other people we've got to get on board yet. We've got Natural England, we've got the National Trust, we've got Woodland Trust, Broads Authority, CLA, NFU. You can see them all. Everybody is involved. Everybody wants to be involved because they can all see the benefits of what we're doing. But if we're lessening those impacts on agriculture, forestry and nature, we are doing a good thing for the country, for food security, for nature. So these are the people that are on board at the moment. Country Foods Trust there, they're in operation. You may have seen them in the press. They are putting venison into community food banks, into schools, into ambient meals for homeless people. They are doing a fantastic job to get venison into the food chain. Oh, go back. Right. This is a map of Norfolk we've got so far. Actually, I'll show you, go through it in a minute. We're connecting with landowners for a wide range of environmental action. This is Norfolk FWAG. This is why this has been successful, because we've got a link into the farming community. We're talking to them every day on a wide range of agricultural environmental actions, and we are helping them conserve nature. We're promoting biodiversity. We're establishing partnerships everywhere across the county. And the biggest thing is to build trust. Trust in that you know what you're talking about, trust in you know that they see that you can possibly do something about it. So what I've got there is a collaborative area of Norfolk strategy is now 17 on the 17th, this is when we had to have these slides in by. So that's 43,000. As of today, there is 68,202 hectares, and which is 14.3% of Norfolk rural area. So this is growing, and it's growing quicker than we ever thought it would. That's better. Right. What I'm going to show you now is a few case studies of things we're actually doing in Norfolk and how this is working. It's a little slow. Right. Collaboration with farmers. There's a group of farmers here on the sort of West Norfolk, Cambridgeshire border, 7,000 hectares. They're starting to do some environmental actions. They're putting shelter belts in, they're putting trees in. They're looking at establishing nature on the farm, in with farming so you can work together. You know, integrated pest management, all those sort of things that these actions bring together. So as they're starting, we're helping to put together a deer management package. So as you're building the infrastructure in from the start, you're not waiting for the problem to happen, although there are deer in the landscape now. If they're creating habitat, deer will move in. So a lot of those efforts will be wasted or potentially wasted. So we're helping to build management strategies in there before the problem arises. And this is happening right across Norfolk. We're helping an area here, a lot of public access, a site that's owned by a water company. They've got a deer problem. They need natural regeneration in their woodland, but they're not getting it. So there's an interaction there between the local community, deer, and nature, which we're trying to help them solve. So we're bringing about a situation where we can help them plan a management strategy that will bring the local community together, so people are aware of what they're doing, not shying away from that responsibility, because I think there's been a lot of shying away over the years, which has led us to the problem we've got now. So one of my roles is to bring that awareness and talk to people, make them aware of what's going on, make them aware of what needs to happen, and showing them the benefits. If they like to walk in a woodland, yes. If they like to see bluebells, yes. They won't see all these things together if there's too many deer. They won't see bluebells, they won't see natural regeneration. They'll see a sparse landscape, which you can look through a forest, where there's deer in it, you'll see straight through it. If you can see straight through a wood, you know you've got a deer problem. If you can see ivy up the trees, you can tell what deer are in there. Muntjac, roe, fallow, red. You can see. Deer will stand on their head, on their hind legs and eat 7-8 foot high. So they will destroy the infrastructure and the understory of that woodland. So we're building this across Norfolk, different areas. We're talking to farmers, to landowners about what can be done, putting management strategies in place. We're talking here. We've just helped in a higher tier stewardship with a deer management plan, which went literally in conjunction with the Forestry Commission. It was quite easy. Deer were managed on there, and we had records for the deer being managed on there for the last 5 years, which were perfect what we needed to get that plan through. Again, in the Broads, we've got a cluster of 5 farms in the Broads. They've been operating not together, disjointed deer management. Now they realise the problem is growing out of proportion. We're bringing them together, so they're all talking to each other. The deer managers are talking to each other, but the landowners have had to make this happen. The deer managers themselves, they're protective, they're territorial, but the landowners can see that collaborative effort will be beneficial to all of them. So that's what we're doing there. We're bringing all of them together. Again, a little bit further up in the Broads there. We're helping deer managers that are effective in their culling operations and are looking after a fair amount of land with their deer management, with their funding for chillers, for infrastructure, for high seats, for trail cameras. So on the back of the Norfolk Deer Strategy, we're working with FIP, we're working with the Broads Authority, we're working with FIPL funding, we're working with Norfolk County Council. Anybody that wants a deer management infrastructure grant for a chiller, for high seats, etc., if they're aligned with the Norfolk Deer Strategy, they're giving us the cull details, they're telling us that they will share their chiller facilities, they're telling us they're training new deer managers. They are the ones that are benefiting Norfolk. Those are the ones that are getting that funding. And this is happening all over Norfolk. What else we're doing? Right. We need, obviously, processing facilities for deer. It's been lacking. So with a partnership with H.G. Blake Limited, who were part funders to the strategy, they will be processing deer through their abattoir, basically. So where they're doing sheep, cattle, pigs, etc., they will now be doing venison. So whole carcass venison will be going out across the country to butchers. They also process to restaurants. If you took a venison carcass in there, they will process it for you. So at any scale, they will process it. So this will allow us to get more venison out there. There's always been a roadblock where deer managers would only shoot a certain amount of deer because they couldn't get rid of it. There was nothing in it. So now we've got a facility where they can get more venison into the food chain, get the chillers emptied so they can actually get out in the field and kill more deer. That's always been a roadblock, and hopefully get a better price for it. So this is cutting out a middleman, as it were, because they will be supplying straight to butchers. And also, I'll go back one, Norfolk Wild Venison, David over there, you will be trying some venison if you fancy it afterwards. A small processor, but looking to do more. He's supplying colleges, he's supplying restaurants, he does tasting events, and he's a great proponent of what we're doing. He is field to fork. He manages deer, so he will kill deer, he will process it in his facility, and then he will sell it. And anybody that wants to talk to David, pick up one of his leaflets, he can send you box venison if you want to. And I mentioned getting it into schools. This is a school in Norwich we're just about to get into, and Galston Sixth Form College. They're now taking venison from David, but it's Norfolk Wild Venison going into these schools. So we've got a local product, helping nature, feeding children or feeding students. That's what it's all about, that circular thing of getting deer management more efficient, more effective. So what have we achieved so far? And we've done a lot, we really have. The collective actions and getting everyone to help promote the benefits of the Norfolk Deer Strategy. We're bringing change to the territorial mindset. We're getting that collaboration going, we're getting people talking to each other. We're sharing information which informs actions going forward. If something happens good, if something happens well, we share the information. If something's bad, doesn't work, we share the information. That's what collaboration is about. You share a risk. It's like growing up with my dad, leaning on a farm gate or riding down the road, we'd be looking at a crop. Farmers now looking into regenerative agriculture, they don't want to try it because they think they might mess up. If somebody's doing it well, we'll have a go at that now. If this goes well, other people will follow. That's how this works. And we're starting to recruit and mentor new deer managers, and we're looking to help pass on those knowledge and skills. We're doing our first course at the showground here in March, which is like an advanced deer management course. This is in partnership with British Deer Society and Norfolk FWAG, so we are actually starting to train here in Norfolk. The recognition of what's needed, effective culling, this is what is needed. We need to get the awareness out there. So go away and tell people we need to do this. As I say, that fact of 2 million plus deer, I'm doing it okay for time. No, I'm running over, I talk a lot, but talking a lot makes this work. If I didn't talk, this would never work. And I walk a lot as well. Right, so effective culling is needed, and we need to get the awareness out there. Action, not words. Remember, as deer numbers go up, biodiversity goes down. It is that simple. If you remember that, that is simple. If we look at deer numbers, 2 million, average intake across those 2 million deer, 6 species, if you said, if they average 4 kilograms a day, 2 million deer, or 4.5 kilograms a day, that's 9 million kilograms of food every day. 9 million. That's a hell of a lot of food. That's damaging British food security and biodiversity and nature recovery. So, one more slide after this one. We do have a lot more to do. Together we're better. Collective actions are stronger. Landscape approaches make a difference. Being part of the Norfolk Deer Strategy is part of the solution. If you're not part of a solution, you must be part of the... Exactly. You all know what I'm going to say there. And that is me. Contact me for further information. Come and talk to me. We have flyers, we have all sorts of things on the Norfolk FWAG stand just over there. Thank you very much.